The Nigerian Communications Commission on November 25th, 2021 issued a press release stating a change had been made to the International Termination Rate, which is received by mobile network operators. The International Termination Rates refer to interconnection charges set by mobile traffic carriers as carrier-to-carrier charges. In Nigeria, it was initially priced in Naira, but was changed to dollars. Now, here is the justification from the NCC in their press release. Let's take this step by step. The current regime of interconnection rates was sustained by the Commission's mobile termination rate issued on 1st June 2018. In the determination, it was stated that the international termination rate of 24 Naira 40 kobo determined in 2016 will continue to apply until a new determination is made. The NCC continues in their press release. Let's take a look at the next slide here. It said the international termination rate being denominated in Naira had multiple negative effects, or rather impacts, on operators, which was further exacerbated by a series of devaluations of the Naira, which ultimately left Nigeria from being a net receiver of international minutes to a net payer. Still in the same press release, we continue. Operators continue to face a series of challenges occasioned by the denomination of the international termination rates in Naira, necessitating a need for a cost-based study on international termination rates. Still from the Commission. And the Commission engaged Payday Advance and Support Services Limited to undertake a cost-based study of mobile international termination rates that is most suitable for the Nigerian telecommunications industry. So all this just to say that the rate has changed. So let's take a look at what we're seeing now. So here's what they've put forward. International termination rate for voice services paid by overseas carriers for terminating international calls on local networks. That's receiving a call from overseas. So the new rate is now 0.045 dollars, all right, which is less than 45 cents, formerly in Naira, and that is a floor price effective January the 1st of 2022. Now, solicitors, on behalf of some of independent data access operators, have written to President Buhari and the National Assembly, and here's a screenshot of one of those letters. They argue that the change will negatively impact local operators and the decision should be reversed. So, joining us after all that, joining us from our Abuja studio is Dr. Pedro Obaseki, CEO of ACC Broadcast Media Ltd, to talk further about this matter. Dr. Obaseki, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you, sir. So, what is the negative impact of the switch from Naira to dollar for the international termination rate?
Simple. It's criminal. It is against the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and it is a clear violation of the CBN policy on substitution and dollarization. And that memo, I will just read it out. Yes, that is the first major impact. The second one is it has basically killed the entire participation of Nigerians, independent local content participators in the international data access space within the telecom sector. That is a truism. You know, this is a very simple issue. As written in the 2018 determination by the NCC, it is dominated in the Naira at 24.40 kobo, 24 Naira 40 kobo. That is the base. And now you are telling a Nigerian company doing business with another Nigerian company. The MNOs are the MTNs, the Glo, the Airtel, and Naira Mobile. These MNOs, you are telling us now to now do business with them in the dollar. So a company in Nigeria with an office on Awolowo Road is going to pay MTN, whose office is at the end of Awolowo Road, in dollar. Not stopping there. The major thing is the NCC, without consultation with us, without consultation with the Nigerian participants in the sector, decided to place a benchmark of 0.045 cents as the benchmark, as the floor. Meanwhile, and gave the mobile network operators the latitude to so determine, but not below that. The mobile network operators now determine thus that the Nigerians within the sector will pay MTN, Glo, Airtel, or Naira Mobile, any of the MNOs, there are only 4 of them. We pay them for the termination of international traffic carried by Nigerian companies into their network, we will pay them 62 cents while selling the same service to foreign participants in our own sector for 55 cents. Now, this is double jeopardy. What is the first jeopardy? Number one, you are outpricing the Nigerian players in the sector in clear violation of the President's direct instruction and policy for local enhancement of local content participation. We only participate in less than 5 to 8% of the entire space within that sector. We are talking about a sector that in January 2022 aggregated 257 billion gross earnings, with some of them, like the MTNs of this world, owning close to 70% of that traffic because they declared 179.9 billion. Now we are playing in less than 5% of a segment in the mobile voice traffic sector. And you are wiping us out. So what it means is the MNOs have agreed to supply the same service to people who own the same license but are not domiciled in Nigeria for 0.55 cents. And they don't pay VAT to Nigeria. Neither does the mobile network operators pay VAT on those earnings to Nigeria because they are all domiciled. They are seen to be transactions outside of the shores of Nigeria. But meanwhile, local operators who used to pay just 29 Naira, which was the total, that 24.40 is not the real. The total comes to 29 Naira. And that includes the 7.5% VAT. Now, on that 62 cents that they have insisted that we pay, which is 7% more than what our competitors who are not Nigerians will pay for a service in Nigeria, we are now VATed 7.5% extra. We now pay commission on turnover to the banks. We now also pay an AOL, an annual operating license of 2.5% to the NCC. And then the final one, for us to create that dollarization to work, we will now have to give to the banks the cost of the financial transactions in foreign currency. So as we so speak, many of us have decided to close shop because all the contracts we have signed with third parties who originate the traffic are 2 years, 3 years. But in November last year, less than four months ago, the NCC comes up with a policy which they did not publish until December 15th on their website, and a pally to inform the operators in December, and telling us that just in 2 weeks' time, on the 31st of December, the old regime of 29 Naira, of which the MNOs get 24 Naira 40 kobo, will come abruptly to an end. And then by the 1st of January, they will all now be domiciled in the dollar, and we are invoiced in new rates in dollar all of a sudden. So if you carry voice traffic of roughly, let's assume 1 million calls, and we are now paying 7 cents more than our foreign competitors who don't contribute a dime to the Nigerian economy, we are dead on arrival.
Okay, so sir, it's
very simple.
Fine, your point is well made, but can you address, and that's the reason why we put this together, so that everyone can see what the justification of the NCC. I just want to throw that. Can you respond to the NCC saying that paying that ITR rate in Naira doesn't work because of devaluation? That's why it has to move to a dollar. So what is your response to that? I think we can put that back up on the screen. It was one of the justifications that the NCC had saying, yeah, so go ahead.
This is simple. The NCC has a right. In fact, every IDA or every international data access operator who is not Nigerian, who is doing those transactions from overseas, should pay in dollar. It's okay. But telling a Nigerian company who is within this space, we are all suffering the devaluation, for Christ's sakes. The devaluation is not affecting NCC. NCC is a regulator, not an operator. If they are not posing themselves like operator and doing the dirty job of the big multinational operators, it is an abdication of their roles to protect local businesses. They have abdicated their role as regulator by protecting only the big players within the sector who are operators. So it doesn't make sense. So because Nigeria, for example, because Nigeria does not refine petroleum products, because Nigeria exports the upstream sector of the I'm using that as an example, petroleum products. So those of us who are local participants who are in Texas or any of the downstream sectors who are buying fuel on the market should pay, they should be pricing it in dollar. It doesn't make sense because of foreign exchange fluctuation. The foreign exchange fluctuation actually affects us a lot more. We are the one who now must engage in a cross transaction. It doesn't affect the international data access operator who is not domiciled in Nigeria and yet holds the same license with us.
Okay.
All this now, you are looking at the persons who will be disengaged. About a few of them have packed up.
Understood.
They just shut down because if you don't pack up and you allow the network to carry your traffic, you carry the traffic on the network, you will be billed at the new rates. Meanwhile, you have signed a 2-year contract at the old rate.
Understood. Dr. Obaseki, I need to quickly, there's another point I want to stress here. In that that press release that was put out, the NCC said it held a stakeholder forum virtually on September the 10th, 2020, and it was attended by all relevant stakeholders. Did any independent data access providers attend it, and was there any dialogue?
No, that was in 2020. And that 2020, this regime was not mentioned. The time they mentioned this regime was the stakeholders conference they had in December 2021. They should not do reverse osmosis. This is a clear cannibalization of the entire process. Either you take it or you get out of the space, irrespective of the repercussions and the ripple effect on players in the industry, their families, the families of their employees, and the entire scope. Not to talk about the huge losses the Nigerian government is taking. Not to talk about that you see, no matter even ab initio, there is a law. And then I will read it out, sir. There is a law that this very policy of the NCC is flaunted. And it says that this is the CBN circular reference BSD /08/013 on currency substitution and dollarization of the Nigerian economy. Unquote. Based on the above provision, is a provision of the Nigerian Constitution. The general public is hereby warned that it is illegal to price or dominate the cost of any product or service, whether visible or invisible, in a foreign currency in Nigeria, and no business offer or acceptance shall be consummated in Nigeria between Nigerian entities in any currency other than the Naira. It stipulates a 6-month penalty for anybody, corporate or individual citizen, who flaunts this. And he now added, appropriate sanctions shall be meted out on any bank that thus breaches this regulation. This is clear. Somebody cannot just wake up within the sanctuary of locked doors and decide to reinvent the wheel. We are not even begging for anything else. We are simply saying we are contributing to the growth of the Nigerian space. Please don't kill us. We are saying that please return to status quo ante. Return to the regime of just 3 months ago. And then we can now sit down and work out an acceptable paradigm that does not suffocate or kill the Nigerian investor or the Nigerian participation in the telecom sector.
Dr. Pedro Obaseki,
that is our plea.
Your plea is well noted, sir, and we've reached out to the NCC and hopefully get a response from them going forward. Thank you so much for joining us to discuss this pressing matter.